All right, hi, morning everyone. So if you can hear me, see me, and also see the shared screen, do raise your hands. All right, thanks to the 5 of you who has raised your hands. You can lower your hands. I've already shared the code. Some of you can see it on your screen. I'm going to start now. So can someone respond to Samuel whether you can hear me or not? I think it's the speaker setting on your end, Samuel. So what you're doing now is tutorial number 10, yeah, which is Society, Ethics, and Technology. All right. I shall leave you to this for the next 10 minutes, and then we shall check back and to see, hopefully everyone is done by then, yeah? Okay, so it looks like most of you are done. And we'll just end the quizzes here. So we'll just quickly review the questions. I think most of them, there is not really an issue. The first one, so this was something we briefly spoke about. So for those of you who answered internet ethics, I wouldn't say that you are absolutely wrong, but the more accurate answer here is talking about etiquette. Yeah, so this is something, etiquette on the internet is the term that is normally being used when they talk about acceptable behavior for using the internet. Yeah. I think this again slightly in terms of those who are familiar with the term, right? Someone who uses digital technology to engage with society, share and create resources online. So this is being used and highlighted as a digital citizen, right? So if you notice why internet user is incorrect is because then an internet user can be doing other aspects, not necessarily these activities here as well. Which of the following is private information? So I think this one everyone got correct, which is good. Mostly got correct as well. We spoke a bit about copyright. All of the above, yep. So understanding that, of course, what are the risks which are involved every time we go online, I think we are all very much aware of it. Which of the following is not a way to protect yourself online? Obviously, which I thought is obvious enough, to share private information is not a way. Yeah, the rest are all basically methods on how do you protect yourself online. If you are being cyberbullied or know that someone else is, where can you go for help? So items here, I think, okay, all right. So I'm not sure if everyone is aware who befrienders are, but if you do not know, so they are based in Malaysia, all right, and they are a NGO, a non-governmental organization who basically looks into, particularly when it comes into mental health. Yeah. So anyone can contact them, anyone can reach out to them and to get, as highlighted here, for emotional support. You can just speak to them. If you call this number, you can actually just speak to anyone there, get their thoughts on certain things. Sometimes just talking about it and saying it, right? It is something that will definitely make a difference. Yeah. I'm going to ignore what Sardar just mentioned in the chat, because, like I said, it's with your statement, I can't do anything about it, right? Saying that we are in two different timelines doesn't really do much for me. Why should you protect your online reputation? Yeah. So of course, I think it's acceptable to a lot of extent today, especially when you look into these, yeah, your future job prospects and opportunities. It's very common for employers today to do a quick search about you, even if you don't provide them the details, because they know they know your name, right? So they should be able to easily search for you either through social media or even places like LinkedIn to find details about you. Yeah. So it is, rather than trying to hide all of this. I have a lot of students who always tell me, I don't think it's appropriate. I normally put everything that I post is private so that not everyone gets to see it. But again, why don't use it to your advantage instead? If employees are looking at it, then wouldn't you want to put up a profile that features who you and who you are? A symptom of society's intoxication with technology. Yeah, so of course, living our lives constantly connected in a way can be looked at as a pro and con in itself, but in this case, of course, is being looked at in terms of a pro, right? It is a major advantage that we are constantly connected. So in terms of 7 of you who mentioned blur with the difference between what is real and what is fake, right? So this is considered a symptom as well, right? So we live so much in the virtual world, we do not necessarily differentiate this properly. Sometimes the way we behave online has now become quite a norm and common on how we behave offline as well. Yeah. And to be honest, with the pandemic and everything being online and everyone being remote, I have unfortunately gone through quite a number of how should I put this? Very weird and different characteristics that has come out. There are more excuses nowadays. Technology is always being used as an issue. Well, it's not as I've always mentioned from the starting of your semester until now. Okay, so I'm hearing myself because Nihat doesn't want to mute his mic. Moving on. So as I've highlighted, a lot of us are in situations that it's not something that we asked for. It's not something that we have preferred being in. Yeah, but it is what it is. So looking for solutions around it is always more important than justifying why the problem needs to be there. Yeah. The others, I think you definitely agree. Love technology as a toy. Favor a quick fix. This is definitely quite a major issue for all of us today. Yeah. How regularly should you change your password? So most of you, most of you are getting the right answer. It is on a monthly basis. This is suggested. This is a suggested one by basically different organizations, even antivirus companies, even anyone who speaks about security always highlights about this. Yeah. So for phishing, of course, a very popular term, right? We covered it briefly in the class as well. So as highlighted here is a method of tricking you into sharing your passwords, credit card numbers, and other sensitive information. Yeah. So in a lot of ways, or rather most of the time when it comes to phishing, it has always been through the email, which is the most common and again, the easiest to obtain around. Even if you think you deleted it, all right, so 17 of you agree and understands it. All it takes is for someone to just screenshot something you've said, right? And you can delete it all you want, but then it's there. It stays forever around. So information privacy as well, yeah. So it's a hot topic nowadays, not just for individuals and personal users like us, but it has definitely expanded across to organizations as well who are very worried about information privacy, especially in relation to their own customers and clients as well. Anything created in original by an individual is called intellectual property. Yeah. So the owner's property in a way is correct, but in this case, is the more accurate answer is intellectual property, IP. Yeah. You will always hear about this, especially those who are involved in those areas. You have a unique idea, you have a unique design, you have something which is original that you've created, and you want to own it. Yeah. So in order for you to own it, of course, then you have to register it as an intellectual property. So it can go, the word here is not just property, it goes into the word intellectual, because sometimes you can even register an idea, you can even register a design. It does not mean it has to be specifically something which is physical. Yeah. So it of course covers things like copyrights and trademarks and so on and so forth, and registered. All right, unwanted advertisements. I think this gives it away, which is quite an obvious answer. Advertisements then refers to adware. Yeah, not the rest of it that most of you have already provided as an answer there. This is a type of fraud that involves using someone else's identity to gain benefits, right? So I think most of us are aware of the term, which is basically identity theft. Unwanted messages in email. This is spam. There's some of you who wrote fraud and theft. I wonder if it's just you were just clicking on the wrong answers for fun. What are different types of malware, right? So there's virus, trojans, spywares, worms. Viruses, and Trojan horses and worms are probably the 3 more common ones around. Of course, spywares are around as well, but there is a lot of similarities when we speak about Trojan horses and also spywares. Yeah. Again, whether you're an IT student or not, being aware of all this definitely makes a difference, because they do different things to your devices, right? And they're there to then have different functionalities, which again, if you're aware of it, then you should be able to differentiate across and know what's going on with your devices. Yeah. Bunny mentioned I can hear. Oh, your message came in really late by the looks of it. 20 minutes late. All right, so that is basically it as a revision to technology, society, ethics, and technology. Yeah, so we covered, there were two parts to the topic. Yeah, so when we covered in the beginning is just to highlight in a way about what technology and society's relationship is. And then we went into the ethics aspect of it. When you go into ethics in technology, it is always talking about cyber ethics, cyber crime, of course, in talking about privacy issues, access issues. So it's always going along those lines. Yeah. So we are done here. The last two topics we covered were these. So I'm going to move on to this one now. So so basically today, all we are doing, because it's your last and final class anyway, we are finishing up with these two tutorials. Yeah, you've done the first one. This is the second one. After this, I'm just going to wrap up with the remaining, I think there's about 3 or 4 of you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you who has not done this. We'll just quickly wrap this up. And then I'm just going to speak a bit about how and what decisions should you make after your foundation. And that's it. Yeah, and that's basically it for class. And after this, you're just going to be waiting for your exam. I forgot to ask Samuel if you're able to hear me now, because Samuel just mentioned you can't hear me about 20 minutes ago.
Yes, I can hear you now because I changed device.
Ah, no wonder. Makes sense. All right. Okay, I see some of you getting in already. I'm just going to start the quiz. It's fine for you to get in after I've started anyway. Yeah. And I'll put a timer on and we will meet back here after the timer is up. So there's a bit more questions on for this particular tutorial, and I'm just going to give you a bit more time. Yeah. All right. So see all of you in 15. Looks like most of you are done. Wow, so Samuel really came out of nowhere. Who probably joined in a bit late, but did very well with 100%. Okay, so there are a few key issues as seen here. I think this is one that all of you are aware of. Obviously, when you're planning for technology, it really very much depends on what the strategy is. Yeah, the process follows in except for dissemination of the technology, how the technology is being disseminated and being distributed. So this is then referring to transfer instead. Yeah. Okay, so most of you went into this identifying the core technologies needed for meeting the vision and focus on those first. So the idea here is actually to first evaluate the company, the organization itself, and to evaluate what currently available solutions are there. So that's why these two are the answers. Yeah. So you must first know what the business mission objectives are first. What are the issues? Are there any opportunities? And what are the available solutions? Once you're done with that, then you can go and identify the core technologies. Yeah. All right. So this is also quite all right. All of you understand that it will be a combination of all of these from manpower to budget and as well as certain skill sets which are available within the company itself. Most of you did all right. Oh, okay. About 10 of you chose strategic and clear. Yeah. So the whole idea is to come up with a tactical plan. So the word here is using tactical because then it's a bit more operational, which is the other word that you see here. Yeah, it's a bit more, you are breaking down the tasks into something a bit more specific. So that's why that would be called a tactical plan. Yeah. So when I think most of you who play games, you understand that it's a tactical plan as well. Even if you play sports, there must be a tactical plan in place. Yeah. The goals aspect of it. So this answer is wrong, obviously, because it's not just a high level goal. It must be quite a specific measurable goal. Yeah. So that's why the term here is tactical and measurable. So, wow, all right. Identify the correct sequence. Again, it depends on whether you remember this or not. So this is towards the end of technology planning in terms of the slides in your lecture, which talks about the processes as such. Yeah, from form to assess, educate, implement, and review. All right, it's quite crucial for you to know what each of this phase is actually for. So slightly in the middle here, 11 of you said true, false, 14 of you said false. So obviously, as you can see, the form of technology transfer transaction may not even be a legally binding contract. Yeah, it can just be an understanding with each other between two parties on how one will become the receiver and one is where the source of the technology is going to come from. Yeah, so it may not necessarily be a legally binding contract. Most of you got this right. Yeah. So technology transfer can be as simple as just a new way or process of doing something, which we all understand. That's how technology is being defined as well. Most of you are all right here as well. Technology transfer always leads to commercialization through products, processes, which include royalties. Yeah. That's the whole idea, right? You want to make a business out of it. So which of these are considered a kind of technology transfer, right? So if you remember, these were the three. That is basically the ones that we covered, right? Intra, extra, and public to private. Private to public is the one that is not so commonly done, right, in terms of the flow, but public to private, yes. So I think most of you it looks like everyone just chose every answer that you see here. About 50% of you are correct for this. The correct description for horizontal technology transfer, right? So as highlighted here is used in one place in a particular organization can be considered as well. Yeah, and then transferred to either another place or another organization. Vertical technology transfer. So most of you got it right. So vertically, what we're talking about is then going through the full scale of the steps in terms of how technology can be transferred from the basic research, yeah, going all the way up into when you are developing it and when you're producing the technology. All right, so which of the following is a model of technology transfer? So for those of you who are aware, I think you will definitely look into they are all different. Some uses a bridging agency, some focuses on R&D, some are focusing more on identifying a particular problem, using technology to solve it. And of course, there's a technology transfer summary, which is more of a cycle in terms of what you should be doing when you are transferring technology. All right. Okay. So there is no semi-passive. Yeah, there is something called semi-active. So this is obviously one of the words I just came up with as I go. There is active, there is passive. So it depends on whether the receiver is the one that is actively looking for new technologies, or are they a bit more passive? And when they are a bit more passive, therefore they are relying on the technology being transferred onto them rather than they are the ones actively looking. Yeah. The correct match of technology transfer routes. So when you look at 4 of these answers, I hope all of you understand that. So of course, licensing is purchasing the right, but for the rest, as you can see here, I do realize that everyone has probably clicked more than one answer just because this allowed you to click more than one answer. But again, it can be a trick question, even though there is only one answer at the end of the day, right? But all of the statements that you see here is just flipping it around. So if you notice, to purchase a complete project, which is designed, implemented, and delivered ready to operate, this is what I always call copy and paste. Yeah, it's a total complete project. You want to just copy it and paste it in a different location. Yeah, so this is called a turnkey project. Yeah, the statement for franchise here is actually for turnkey project. So for turnkey project, 2 or more entities combine their interest in a business enterprise. So I think once the statement stops here, immediately you understand that, okay, this sounds like a joint venture. All right, because entities that combines, that merge together, so this is then referred to a joint venture. And the last one, a form of licensing with continual support to the receiver, is then referring to franchise. Yeah, so the statements are just being flipped around. All right, we are done. Overall, okay. I think you hit at least 50%. Yeah, you hit about 50% overall in terms of the accuracy. All right, awesome. A quick question to Samuel. Samuel, did you really know all the answers, or were there some guesses that you just got it correct?
I don't know. Actually, that one, I don't know why I clicked, but I end up reattempting the quiz.
Sorry, what?
I end up reattempting the quiz. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It was a
ended up
reattempt.
I see. So you would have known all the answers then.
Yeah.
What did you get the first time around?
I think that's pretty bad.
Okay, all right. No worries. We are all here to learn, and that's the reason I've always given all of you this kind of quizzes anyway, because it's a much more quicker and easier way to learn. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to finish this up with the remaining ones that I've not gotten. We're going to do a quick one. I'm not sure if you're here either to begin with. We'll start off with Jin Yen. Are you here? I'm assuming that is a no. Uzma, are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right, you are quite soft. I'm not sure why I can't hear you clearly.
No.
Do check your microphone or something. I could hear Samuel very clearly just now, but now yours is, you sound very far away.
Is this better?
Oh yes, much.
Okay. Hold on.
All right, so everyone can introduce, everyone can start voting which is the statement that you think Uzma's dream or wish is. While
I think this is quite obvious.
Uzma can just give a quick introduction about yourself.
Okay. My name is Ozma. You can call me Ozma or Z or Zia. I have a lot of nicknames. My three statements are I've tried killing a goldfish when I was 6. I've traveled to at least one country from each continent, and I speak 4 languages fluently, and I'm learning my 5th one.
Okay, all right. So there is a slight majority for number 2. I've traveled to at least one country from each continent. So which one is the dream or wish, Uzma?
Yeah, it's the second one.
All right. How many continents have you covered?
0.
What do you mean 0? Hello, you must come from one continent.
Well, okay. If you could, okay, if we say it that way, then Asia and that's about it, really.
Okay, all right. I really have my doubts now because I don't think you know how many continents there are.
I know my continent songs, so I know exactly how many there are. Don't worry.
So how
I
many
was good at
continents are there?
geography. Okay, there's North America, South America, there's Africa, there's Europe, and then there is Asia. And Antarctica in it.
Really? So there are 6 continents in the world.
In it.
You are not sure. See, I told you, I know you are not sure. Anyway, go and find out. I'm not going to tell you. So why do you want to do this? Why do you want to visit one country from each continent?
Maybe to know my geography better. but I mean, traveling around the world is a dream of mine since I was really young. So yeah.
Okay. I see. Interestingly, Samuel says in the chat is Australia, and
Oh,
Samuel,
Australia, right? Antarctica. Goddamn.
Australia. I'm just about to clarify. Australia is not a continent, so you have to get that right as well.
Australia is not a continent.
Nope. Go and
Hold
find
on.
out. So first statement.
Guess who's not sleeping tonight?
What? Why are you trying to kill a goldfish?
Okay, it wasn't intentional.
But it says tried. Tried sounds very intentional.
No, it wasn't. It was like, okay, okay, maybe, yeah. If I said tried, then yeah, it sounds intentional. But I was 6 and I was trying to change the water in the fish tank. But the fish fell down, right? And a normal human being's response would be to take it from the floor and put it back in the fish tank. But I was just staring at it as it was dying.
Wow.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right. It'd be quite. I thought the first thing you wanted to say was I tried drowning my goldfish, but then yeah, that doesn't really make sense. But anyway, you speak 4 languages fluently, and you're learning a 5th one. So what are the 4?
It's the first one's English, and then there's Arabic, and then there is Pashto, and there is Korean. These are my 4 languages. And
sorry, what was the 3rd one?
The Pashto.
Is your mother tongue?
Fathers.
Fathers. I see. And
Yeah.
the 4th one you picked up, or you learned, you professionally learned it, formally learned it?
Formally learned it.
I see. For what reason?
Just because I find learning languages entertaining.
Okay, all right. And you do speak fluently in Korean?
Yes, yes.
Wow, interesting. Was it difficult to learn?
No, not really. It wasn't difficult. Maybe because my teacher was amazing, but the only difficult thing is their grammar structure. It's quite different than the English one.
Okay. All right. What's the 5th one you're learning?
French.
Okay. And also again, you're attending classes for it and so on and so forth.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Done. Thank you. Thank you, Uzma. Thank you for the entertainment for a while.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I see Samuel coming back into the picture. Oh, no, sorry. Wei Huan first posted continent. A continent is any of, okay. Where was it? All right. So Wei Huan is referencing, I do not know where this is from. And of course, he's trying to say Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. All right. And then Samuel comes in and says, I learned this in school, but the actual one should be Oceania. See, all of us do not know our continents. Interestingly, right? And there are so many debates in terms of what the actual the name of those continents are. But anyway, Jamil, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, everyone can start voting for Jamil's statement. Which one do you think is a dream or wish? I couldn't really hear you, Jamil. Is it a microphone issue?
Hello.
Yes, just quickly introduce yourself. You do not need to go through the 3 statements.
Hi everyone. I'm Jamil and I am 20 years old and I'm from Africa.
I see.
Zambia.
Zambia, to be exact. Okay, all right. And votes are coming in. Most do not believe that you have met Lewis Hamilton. And oh wow. So, but which is the dream or wish, Jamil?
The first one.
The first one. Okay, all right. I think as your classmates have shown, they are quite torn between. Of course, 9 of them said number 1 and 2 of them said number 2. I guess this is not an easy fit as well. But the first one, why do you want to meet Lewis Hamilton?
Because I aspire to be like him.
Wow. Have you driven before?
No, it's just the way he handles everything. It's just too nice. I didn't have the right words for it.
I see. Fangirl moment. But all right, second one, Jamil. You have. How did you verify how do you verify something like that you have memorized the Quran?
It took me 5 years.
Okay. But like I said, how do
But
you
yeah,
verify?
I did.
How do you verify for someone who claims that they have memorized the whole book?
There's no specific way to that, but no one would lie that I've memorized it.
I see. Okay, all right. Was there a particular reason you did this?
For myself.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Great, awesome. Last one. Why?
Very basic one. So it's a very basic one. We can ignore it.
It was a very what? Sorry.
It's a very basic one.
Okay, all right. Wow, interestingly. So, but it sounds like your dad is constantly moody, is he?
Not constantly, but with moody, then you have to be careful.
Interestingly. I used to go back home from school and I will pass by my mom and I always ask my mom, how's the weather? And and my mom knows what it means, but my dad doesn't. But interestingly, okay, all right, thank you, Jamil.
Okay, sir.
All right, I see. Oh, actually, there's 2 more here. I wonder if you've just added it in. Zunho, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So everyone can start voting. So Zunho, a quick intro.
So my name is Kwa Zun Ho, and I'm 19 this year, and I'm a Malaysian and live in Selangor.
Where from Malaysia you are?
Selangor.
I see. Okay, all right. So everyone can start voting. 2 of your friends said you have traveled to more than 5 countries. Competition, perform in front of 500 people. Which one is a dream or wish here, Zunho?
The first one.
First one. So I'm assuming you have traveled to 5 countries then.
Yes.
I see. What are they?
China, Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand, and one more I forgot.
China, Hong Kong. Okay, I was about to count because I thought it was 5 already. But anyway, so you want to travel more. What competition is this?
It's a robotic competition.
I see. All right. And anything interesting happened there?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. All right. Moving on. Why did you perform in front of 500 people?
Why? Because I'm chosen.
So what did you do?
Perform a dance.
Okay. What dance?
Just a hand sign dance.
Hand sign dance. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
Just moving your hands like dancing.
Moving your hands like dancing. You're doing this alone?
Yeah. No.
Oh, so it's a group performance.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Talking to Junho, I just realized that I have to come up with all of the questions because Junho's response are very short and simple. Anyway, thank you, Junho. I don't think I have anything else to ask you then.
Yes, sir.
Nihan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Every time I want Nihan, now that I want Nihan to switch on his microphone, it's not on. But when I don't want him to switch on his microphone, it's on.
Hello. Yes, sir.
I think you're speaking, but I can't hear you, Nihan.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now?
You sound very soft. Can you speak louder or go nearer to the mic or something?
Sir, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but still very soft. I hope the rest can hear you clearly. So quickly introduce yourself.
So my name is Nhed Hamer. I was born in Tanzania, and then after, when I started high school, I went to Kenya, and I've been there for 3.5 or maybe 4 years now. And
So it sounds like currently you're in Kenya.
no, now I'm in Malaysia.
Ah, I see. Where is your family then? Is your family still in Kenya or they're back in Tanzania?
Well, my mother is still in Tanzania, but my father is constantly working from. Sometimes he comes to Kenya, and sometimes he goes back to Tanzania.
All right. Just clarifying. So the right way to pronounce it is Tanzania, not Tanzania, right?
Yes, Tanzania.
Tanzania. All right. Thank you for mentioning that because I think I've been saying Tanzania for the longest time. So the votes are in, and everyone do not believe that you have performed at a UFC event, and I'm probably on the same lines as well. But Nihat, which is your dream or wish?
Well, my dream is actually the UFC.
Okay. When you suddenly said it's actually, I thought you have done this and you haven't done one of the two others. So you have been to 4 countries, and where are they?
Well, I've been to Malawi, I've been to India, I've been to Egypt, and I've been to here, Malaysia, maybe.
Okay, all right.
But
Interestingly, 4 very different countries. Were they all mainly for holidays?
yes, yeah.
Okay, all right. What's interesting about you participating in safari hunting? When you mentioned this and you are from Tanzania, I think it is quite common for everyone there to have been to a safari, right?
Yes, but there's different safaris. There is one called the Kitisi and one called the Ruaha National Park. For Ruaha National Park, you just go and see the wild animals. But for the Kitisi, you see the wild animals and you get the permit to hunt also.
Oh wow, I see. And what were you able to hunt?
Well, we were with family, so they hunted buffaloes and antelopes. And that's it.
Okay, interesting. Once these animals are hunted, what do they do with them?
Well, we eat them. We go
So
in very large group, like 15 to 20 people. So
I
if
see.
you hunt a buffalo, it may takes maybe 3 or 4 days, and we finish the whole thing.
Interesting, interesting. Talk about seeing catching your food and then seeing it on your plate after that. But anyway, so why do you want to perform at the UFC event? Are you into anything in relation to, I'm assuming, is MMA or anything along those lines?
Well, at first, my dream was to go and participate in the UFC event, until my father one day he started talking. I don't know, like, why would you do that, and give me lectures about performing in such events. So,
Okay.
but my dream is to perform in UFC.
I see. All right, all right. Interestingly, but I I would probably agree with him until you can really find a good reason to a good reason to tell him why would you want to really be in a UFC event. But thank you very much, Nihat. Okay, all right. I think the last one I missed out here is Mohib. So Mohib, I think everyone can start voting. I'll just put the numbers in. Oops.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Hi, sir.
so where you from, Mohib?
Sir, I'm from Pakistan.
Okay, all right. I think that's the only thing I need to know. And everyone can start voting. There are 3 statements which are here. One vote for number 3. So Mohib, which one is the dream?
Sir, is the third one.
There's the third one. So everyone is able to easily identify this. So how many countries have you been to instead?
Sir, it's Pakistan, and second is Malaysia. I'm planning to going after my degree.
Oh, I can't even hear you clearly. Sorry, you've only been to 2 countries.
Sir, yes, I've only
Okay.
been to 2 countries.
All right. What sports is this?
Sir, it's cricket.
Cricket. I see. But I'm very sure you're not doing any of this now.
Right now, it's not. It's
Okay.
like
All right. Hopefully, it's not a waste of talent. And you have 3 different tattoos. What's so interesting about talking about your tattoos?
so that was like some mistake. Like now, I'm planning to remove them.
Oh, okay. So it's a mistake that you made
Yeah,
3 times.
it was just influenced by some bad friends.
I see. Okay. All right. Interestingly, 3 different tattoos and 3 different mistakes, and now you are trying to remove those mistakes. Thank goodness in
Yes,
life, that's what we can do with mistakes. All right. Okay. Thank you, Mohib. So I'm done with this. So overall, your main takeaway from this, the reason I did this activity with everyone is that I want you to reflect on this, and before you go for an interview, right? Before you go for an interview, identify 3 things about yourself that you really want to highlight. Yeah. And actually, when I say interview, it can be any interview. It doesn't mean that you have to be only your job interview. It can be after this if you're applying for a scholarship, if after this, whatever that you're applying for and it involves an interview. Think about 3 main things you really want to highlight by yourself. Of course, this activity meant more as a game, right? And there is a lot of humor injected into it. A lot of funny statements were around. But of course, for in the context of you going for an interview, you realize it's going to be slightly different. But don't get me wrong, yeah. Humor should also be included as well. I've always felt that is a very good icebreaker per se. Yeah, it's a very good opener as well. Like for one of my interviews, I remember telling of course, after judging and seeing what the interviewers are like, I did mention to them that I am a professional shower singer, and this came out, of course, when they asked me what was my hobby, right? So rather than just saying that, oh yeah, I like to sing. I like performing. I decided to say it in a different way. And again, this is something that they have remembered me for. Yeah. So that's my suggestion to you. So all you need to do is you need to sit down, reflect, and come up with 3 statements that you know you will definitely want to highlight in a particular interview. The reason is that there's a lot of things about yourself you want to speak about when it comes to you going through an interview, and you may miss out on the more important ones. Right. So similar to this activity, when I got all of you to just sit back and decide what 3 things about yourself do you want to introduce to everyone, then you started going through and started thinking, what exactly should you be talking about, right? But if I just change the context of this activity a bit into what skills would you like to first feature about yourself, and you must limit it to only 3 things, right? You can't be able to write a whole essay, because again, in an interview, they may not say, please introduce yourself for 30 minutes. They will just say, introduce yourself, and they don't expect you to go anything more than 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah. So that is the reason on why I've done this mainly. Of course, as an activity from the beginning of your semester, but interestingly, it has dragged out throughout the whole semester, and I hope you would see it as something that can be useful to you later on as well. Yeah. So we are done, and this is officially closed. That is basically it. The only other thing I wanted to highlight was about you choosing which area you are about to go into after your foundation. This was I also remembered when Uzma first shared this in terms of the Career Explorer. On top of the ones that she has shared, which is good, but honestly, there are also a lot of other career or personality tests, which I think is always a good time for you to reflect. Because when they ask you the questions, when they ask you specific questions, it pushes you towards identifying whether are you good at something, are you not good at something, do you like something, do you not prefer certain things, and so on and so forth, right? It really gets you to reflect about your own skills as well. Yeah, so this is always a good way to do it. There are so many free tests out there and online, and it's something that you can easily gain access to. MBTI is also very popular, right? A lot of people uses this to know in terms of what personality type you are, and so on and so forth, right? So of course, on top of that, is definitely for you to review and see what is available on the website. Yeah, when you are reviewing the programs, I will always suggest for you to run through in terms of, let's say, when you are deciding in relation to a particular degree, when you go in, is for you to read certain areas. For example, for you to then see what your career options are, if there are any professional recognitions that come along with your degree. Some of you maybe you're even interested to see what kind of modules you'll be taking, right? I think majority of you may not be very interested, but then again, you should at least review the page and the website in relation to your business, in relation to your degree that you're looking for, right? So of course, for those of you who are in engineering in class, then you will review the one from engineering, right? You must be able to know the basic details, because this is not the time for you to get into a degree and not know what is the degree about, right? And have a zero idea about it. So all this will then contribute to it. Do a career test, review the programs on the website. Number 3 is, of course, always speak to someone. Speak to your PL, for example, right? Reach out to your program leader, speak to them. If they can't help you to understand certain areas, they can easily get you to, refer you to someone who can. Yeah. So for example, if you want to come to me as well, even though you're in a business finance background or engineering, I will at least be able to, if I'm not able to help you in clarifying certain things, I know I will definitely at least get to refer you to someone who can. Yeah. But this can all, this will all only be able to be done if you reach out, yeah, if you reach out and then you start asking questions and then you start finding out. If you're just sitting back and hoping all these details come to you, that will not happen. Yeah, all right. Okay, and I see, all right, Sardar said something, Jamil said something, all right, internal joke, I guess. Samuel says, did I miss a person? I did miss someone. It was Jin Yan, but I called for Jin Yan earlier, but then there were no response. So I'm moving on from that. Yeah, so don't worry about it. Okay, all right. So I think we are done. I will open your attendance for the very last time for you to take your attendance. Oh, before I forget, there is a end of semester feedback that you should do, right? This is your 3rd semester here. I'm very sure it's not your first time. So please help me to complete that right after this class. Yeah, do help me to complete that right after this class. For those of you who were not aware of it before, please ensure that you go to AppSpace and look for the survey there and provide a module feedback. Yeah, so it's obviously for this particular module that you will need to do so. All right, so thank you very much, everyone. It has been an interesting semester for me, at least, to teach some of you. For some of you, I may have not really reached out and to really speak to you much, and you have probably been the more quieter one anyway. So I hope you still picked up something and learned something out of class. You take a lot of modules throughout your degree and when you're studying, but most importantly is what you take away from it. Yeah, not your results, to be honest. Yeah, it's more importantly is for you to ask yourself the question on what exactly have you gained from a particular module. All right. So I wish you all the best. Take care, and if you need help, I'm always open for you to request for help. Like I said, I can always direct you towards something or someone who can assist you instead if I'm not able to then help you. But I truly wish you all the best. Take care and stay safe. Yeah. And I will see you when I see you. Study for your exam. Yeah. All right. Bye. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Hi, sir. Sorry about that. I cannot sign my attendance.
Oh, what happened?
It's a wrong code.